Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a long overdue garden video and I'm going to give you a tour today. So I'm going to start from as if I'm walking into the garden, which is one of my favorite areas because of this sign right here that says Farm Fresh. I drew this on my own, painted it, and I'm super excited about how it came out. So this is the entrance of the garden. Last year, if you were following me and you saw the layout, you would know that my egg chair was right here, but I've since moved it to that little corner because it is directly underneath the tree and it's more shade on that side, and I can use my egg chair more throughout the day than I can do it if it was in the center, which gets a lot more sun. So as you enter the garden, I replaced the mint that was here with some flowers. These are petunia. I kind of really like them because they come in different colors and the fact that they bloom throughout the summer. I kept the mint here. Didn't really do anything with this pot. This is mint from last year. Some of it is coming back, but this is still the same. And then on the left and right side at the top, I still have my strawberries from last year. I did not add new strawberries, so they just kind of come back on their own. If you do know, strawberries will come back in the same spot that you planted them the previous year. So as we step around here, so this is to the left. So we entered and then we came to the left. So this area is where I had the cucumbers last year, so I continued with the cucumbers. For some reason, I had the hardest time with my cucumbers. They definitely took a long time to kind of start to grow, and even though they're growing a little bit, they do have some kind of mold on them. It's not like the mold that you have in your house. The plant molds are you can get that from overwatering. It's like a mildew type of thing. So I've been kind of trimming off the bad leaves, and it's growing but very slow. I don't even think that I'm going to see any cucumbers on this side until later in the season. I do have another cucumber plant. Luckily, I planted somewhere by accident, and I'm going to show you how that's turned out. More flowers along this side. I wanted to add a little bit more flowers in the garden to give it more color, because everything else obviously is green. So that's why we have the petunias with different shades all around. So here I have not harvested yet, but I have some snap peas, and I put it here instead of the tomato plant that was here last year. This is doing great. I'm using this tomato cage so the tendrils can hook to it and they can actually be supported while it's growing up. In this bin, I did not plant anything new. I kept the same potatoes in there, and I'm not sure if you know, but potatoes will come back every year, as long as there's something left over in the soil. Here, I don't remember what I planted here, but I dropped some seeds in here the other day, and I can't quite remember, but something is planted there. And the same thing with right here. I dropped some seeds. This is weeds. And like a spider found some home under there. But I don't know. My club quarantine sign from last year with my friends, we created a club and I painted that, and it's still here. Here we have some sweet potatoes. This is new. And I added seeds in here the other day. I don't know why I was just dropping seeds everywhere. I think one of it is squash. I just have to double check. It's not something that I planted previously. That's the reason why I'm not sure. So just examining the plants here. This plant is a little wilt. You see it like it's wilting. So you can tell right here it kind of broke off a bit, so it's not getting as much nutrients. So this is definitely going to have to cut off. We have a little branch down here, but this is the tomato plant. And if you realize, the tomato plant is very I would say skinny because there's not a lot of leaves on it. So what I've been doing like really lots of pruning so the tomato plant could grow more tomatoes. If you have less leaves on your tomato plant, you will get more tomatoes. Over there, I dropped some sunflower seeds, so hopefully they will be coming up soon. I have cilantros at the top. This is something I plant throughout the season. There's no real way to save it if I harvest them, and I come out here and pick cilantro almost daily. So here we have the mint section for peppermint tea, infused water, decor on my little drinks that I make. I have some basil there, some lettuce on this side, and then over here is where I put the rest of the tomato plant. So last year it was just 2 tomatoes here, and this is where I had the cabbage. This was like the cabbage, the death valley, where all the cabbages died last year because of the worms. And look, what is this? I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna wait to see. So tomato plants. I'm gonna be doing a little bit more pruning today once I'm done recording this video, because I'm starting to get more leaves on this plant and I don't want to have that many leaves. Here I do have leaves as well that started growing after I've already pruned. I do this probably like once a week, and if you notice, I've already have some tomatoes growing, and on that one and also the other one. This one is not going to have tomatoes yet because this is the beefsteak. I purchased this in this nursery, so because the tomatoes are bigger, I think that this is going to get a lot more it's going to need to grow a lot more before I can actually start to see tomatoes. So if you look right here, this little thing in the middle is called a sucker. Anytime you have these, you want to pick them out because all they do is just produce more branch like this. You see how this is just going off on its own, and then we're just going to end up with a whole plant full of leaves. And the rule of thumb for tomatoes, you want to grow plants, not leaves. So we're making our way around. We were on that side, and now we are coming around to the carrot bed. So I planted this right here. That was an accident because that was from seeds. So what happened was the bag of seeds that I keep in my house, they kind of got mixed up, and basically it's kind of like an exploring. It's going to be like a summer of surprises in this garden. So here we have all of my carrots that I planted from seeds. If you notice, some are a little bit taller than the others. And what I did was at different time periods, different dates, I planted seeds. So once I had sprouts, if they were like a decent size, I went ahead and I planted more seeds. So I'm going to be able to harvest carrots throughout the summer because these carrots are all different ages. If you look here, you have new ones that are just growing up, and you have some really tall ones that's been here since I first started. So I'm curious to see what happened. Wish me luck. We have some bok choy on this side. This is the bed of I would call this, I don't really know what I'm doing on this side, but I did drop some bok choy seeds in here, so these are new. And the bok choy seeds, if you notice, they're a lot smaller than the ones if you were to get the starters in the store. So these are seeds, organic seeds, and they are smaller, and you can see they start to flower pretty early. These leaves are edible already. I can just cut off the outer branch, the outer leaves, and start to chop them up and make them. These are my okra plants, but the ants really love them. If you look underneath them, they're full of ants, but hopefully I'll get some okra on top. So this is what I was saying about the cucumber plant, where I accidentally planted it here, and it's a good thing I did because this is probably like this is the only thriving cucumber plant in the garden. So hopefully I'm going to try to train it to go up this little trellis that I have here, and then I'll have cucumbers on this side. Down there we have some more snow peas or snap peas, more flowers on the ground. These are potatoes that are coming back from last year. I didn't plant any more potatoes on this side because last year, once they got big, they all tilted over and it was kind of like really hard to get through. So this is to the right of the entrance. We enter here, and this is the right. Lettuce seeds dropped there by accident. Struggling cucumber plant. I'm just not sure what I did this year, so more to come on that. In this little section, I have some lettuce, and I have kale is my favorite. I saute kale in pretty much everything. And then here I have celery and more lettuce that I planted from seeds. Lettuce from seeds. I dropped the lettuce seeds in there. And then here we have the cabbages on this side. They're doing okay, keeping a close eye on them. The only thing I noticed in this bed was recently, it looks like the slugs kind of got to this, and this just happened. So this is a new bed that my husband made for me. This one is the new one, and the bed of the unknown is also the new one. And I don't think that the slugs realized there was something on this side until probably like the last 2 weeks. So on this side, I have the cabbages and the bok choy. Right now, I'm harvesting all of the bok choy on this side because these are mature. They're very old. And even though they're a little eaten up, I'm going to harvest them, wash them over there by the pipe. I wash them in this tray. When I harvest, I put everything in here and wash it outside. You can get one of these trays. I purchased it from a home decor store, and I keep it underneath the garden bed, so I don't have to bring the dirt inside. So all of this is being harvested, and I'm going to be planting new seeds in a few. So here we have a leftover berry plant. It's dying, so it's not going to produce any more berries. But this is a grape plant that I planted last year. Didn't have any grapes, so I'm hoping to get some grapes this year. And I added some flowers in there. I have some thyme. Oh, and I also have thyme on that side. I'm going to show you. There's some thyme in there. So once I harvest some of the kale, I'm going to freeze them so I can have kale anytime. I'm going to redo these pots. These plants died in these pots because these pots were overwatered. You can't overwater your plant. The roots will be too saturated. And once the roots are saturated, the plants will die. So over here, the egg chair, I took up the cushions. I only take them out when I'm going to be here for a long time. More flowers. Kale section. Lots of kale because I love kale. It's good for me. Get my vitamins, get my iron, and we have some peppers on this side. So these are the peppers. I'm going to be cutting off all the brown leaves. That's from like sun damage. Sometimes this area can be a little sunny. I'll keep that in mind for next year. And then we come around and we have the garden. So this is Siobhan's Farm Fresh Garden, where I come out here and get my veggies daily. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour. That basket doesn't have anything for now, but this is it. I will be doing another garden update later in the season. And there's a FedEx truck that's making noise. But this is my little oasis. I hope you hear the wind blowing and all the birds chirping, and just imagine what it's like to sit right under here and just take it all in. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.